So that can be controlled by Navy. This can be controlled by Navy. In fact, yeah, that would be it. Make this river navigable. And then you can have light ships protecting there, light ships protecting here, light ships protecting here. That would open up that trade route. And until that route is opened up, you would have the overland caravans. So initially this would be trade dominant, then eventually once the trade powers from Anbennar woke up and started interacting with this area, then you would get the shift. And this would effectively be the South Africa route. Because I still think that this is just too far away. It would have to come through here. And there would need to be some in-game reason that trade from here can get into here. And just shifting a couple of these rivers would allow you to do it. Like, I'd like to see a river connecting out of this, going up to maybe this Eastern Sarhad or something. But the fact is, all of these rivers are currently feeding into these lakes. I feel like these lakes would be a lot bigger. And in fact, there is a river that connects this lake to the sea. So this is probably where a glacier sat. Maybe great works to link the rivers. I mean, certainly down here, yeah, 100%. Which, if you had good trade nations down here that can exert some trade pressure, they could start to steal it from this. Like a Gulf of Aden situation. So they would just go direct from here down to here, as opposed to coming through here. And I think that would be interesting, because you'd have the gradual changing of trade over time, which is effectively what the South Africa route allows in vanilla. I think a large part of the trade all comes through the mountains, which you can't interact with. Trade comes through here, which you can't interact with. The only way of interacting with trade is light ships. Unless you're actually there. And if there's a hegemonic player in the way, you're never going to get that trade. Ever. Because you just can't. And that's a river feeding into that lake. Okay, I see how that works. Doesn't really get you going the right way, though. I mean, probably Sahara Desert style, you'd have caravans coming through here. So that would be Mali and Songhai. Getting to this river and then going along the river out. And then this would be like the big opening route. Still trying to work out how you'd connect from here. The Jad Sea. To these rivers, because once you're into these river network, you're fine. I think it would have to be, like, put a dwarven state right there with a dwarf hold. And then have them tunnel it. Have them have a great project, which is tunneling through this mountain to either connect these two rivers or to connect this river to the sea. In fact, connecting these two rivers would be kind of an interesting one. So you have an underground river. And then you have boats coming in through there, great project tunnel, sailing along to here. This all becomes navigable. Sails out to here. Then you have the big trading city where you just hop across. And then you have the trade coming along this river. And then Anbennar proper. The Knolls and the Harpies are a very weak idea mission-wise, though. I feel like the Knolls are going to get some love when this actually opens up and becomes a proper area, properly colonized, because at the moment I think the Knolls are basically half done, half baked. Mordred putting more dwarves on the map, typical. I mean, if there are any other races which could feasibly tunnel through this, which is definitely a mountain, I'll take it. Or if there's just a natural underground river connecting these two, I'd take it. Otherwise, you'd have to connect through this river going all the way around. I just can't see them just not making the route across here. Or across here. Or across here. In fact, that would also work. So you sail into here, jump across there with a canal. then sail up to here, another canal, and then out. And that could definitely be done through Great Works. I mean, just put a great project here, which you upgrade over time. And probably one here. Harpy Zeppelins. That would also be interesting. Have a light ship that can go over land. Don't know if mechanically that would be possible. How's the Jordland War going? Good question. Have these guys woken up to the danger yet? Nope, but we're starting to see a couple of navies around. We've got some uprisings going on up in New Lorent, which Boiscarvo has already occupied, by the way. So, and we've got Bjornrik declaring on Gnomish Hierarchy. How long did you have on your truce with Small Country? Oh, just 2 more years. I think that actually the Small Country intervention in this war ended it, which probably means that Bjornrik's going to grab most of this. Had the Small Country not intervened, ironically, that war would still be ongoing, and then Small Country could have taken this. So we've got Lorentish armies here on the coast, waiting to be shipped out. But the problem is these guys just don't have the navies to pull that off. No, yes they do, because of Eberthil. They need Eberthil to actually do something with their navy. There's a Lorent army. They are actually... Okay. Gathering some forces before venturing forth. Jordland is there, but doesn't seem to have noticed the danger yet. Because the problem is Jordland's armies are still back there. Oh, we've got some... Eberthil. Eberthil's landed. And there's the Eberthil navy. There's the Jordland navy. And a large number of those guys are repairing. And Jordland doesn't have a huge number of sailors, 11,000. That's going to go away in a hurry. Eberthil sitting here on 86,000. Okay, Jordland might be in a bit of trouble. And there we go, Eberthil is starting to blockade. I was going to say, have we missed any colossal naval engagements? And short answer is, nope. No, we haven't. They haven't happened. So it kind of looks like Jordland is trying to get these guys repaired up. How are you so low on sailors? Oh, because half of your navy was mothballed. So you probably moved your ships over here, have unmothballed them. They are still recovering from the mothball. And then you can bring them in. But it is taking a while. Reminder, this is also decided for the naval hegemon. That's true. Which right now, Jordland has taken. Jordland is 6th, Eberthil is 3rd. Overall. And unfortunately, without Jordland's navy protecting Boiscarvo's holdings here, Lorent and Vern can just arrive and kick him back. Because Boiscarvo does not have the troops to hold this. I mean, they have a lot of manpower, sure. But in terms of force limit, they have 200,000 against probably about 400,000. Although these guys are somewhat damaged by the long war previously. Like, flipping hell. Vern, force limit 589,000. Which is double what Lorent has. I like that Eberthil's just baiting these guys. 30 heavy sitting right there. Jordland can see these, though. Somehow. How is Jordland seeing them? They have no provinces in that area. And it's not me being on observer mode, I'm seeing this from Yordland's perspective. I can see what they see. That's Eberthil territory. People starting to vote for Wesdam now. Interesting. Magic? No, because they'd be able to see no Eberthil. Oh, here's a sneaky Yordlander attack. Like, I think that Eberthil does have more troops here, but if they take this, then that's all they can really do, and they can basically box them up in there. Oh, there's the Yordland command vessel. Engagement with morale and then the flagship durability. Okay, makes sense. Do you guys have a flagship? I mean, you probably do. I'm just wondering where it is. Eberthil. Yes. Same bits. Same bits. No, you've gone for the extra cannons. So Hope Bark is going to be doing more damage, whereas the Yordland ship is going to have double the hit points. So defensive Doctrine versus offensive Doctrine. And it is 266 heavy ships against 366. They have 100 more. From all of their minions combined, pretty much. Where it is just Yordland with a navy. So they kind of need to have a decisive victory here against Eberthil. Naval ideas. What are they doing for policies? Naval force limit. Nothing really. And Yordland's national ideas. I don't think they actually have any naval national ideas. I don't know why Yordland has exactly gone naval. I love that they have. It's just a little bit weird. And then Eberthil have got 20% morale of navies, naval maintenance, naval force limit, naval bonus off of owned coast, which they don't have out here, I think, because this is all Yordland owned coast. At least this bit is. So if they force the naval battle here, then I think they'd... no. Oh no, that's Yordland, yeah. If they force the naval battle here, then they wouldn't get the off-owned coast. Meanwhile, Eberthil jumping on Yordland's armies, which have finally been spotted. See, while he's busy with that, this is when you want to do the naval attack. Just take out that 30 stack. Just sneaky style. And then they also have a 20% heavy combat ability. So Yordland, I think, would just lose against Eberthil. And the fact that Yordland called attention to themselves as being such a large navy is what has caused Eberthil to ratchet up their naval construction. With the lack of ledger, they may not have caught on to it. It's Yordland land controlled by Eberthil, so it still gives vision. I didn't think it did. Fair enough. And then Yordland armies tried to come in to assist, but were just too little too late. 140... 200,000 against 200,000 would have been pretty equal. That would have been down to individual military qualities. I don't think either army is particularly good. But I think that Yordland not going after Eberthil's navies here, I mean, it would be a hard fight, sure. But this is just going to give the war to Lorent and Vern, because if they're able to bring their armies across, it's over. Doesn't Everthil also get bonuses from the mission tree? That I don't know. I mean, easy way to find out would be to go into here. And then we see the blockade efficiency, 55%. Heavy ship combat, 30. Scroll down to the end stuff. Bonus off own coast, +1. Naval force limit, 53. Naval fleet of fire, maneuver and shock. Naval maintenance, -70. That's pretty impressive. Anyway, we have got a battle going on here. Everthil taking the -1 from the jungle, 5.9 morale against 5.7. Their armies are otherwise pretty much the same. It does look like Everthil's going to win this, just because they have the extra troops. Jordland being caught a little bit late with their extra 65,000 men reinforcements, although the fact that these guys have not taken morale damage yet may allow them to win this, depending on whether this front line can hold until their arrival, which I'm not convinced they will. Did look to be a second wave of reinforcements available. You split off 15k. I guess you're trying to feed these guys in slowly to allow these guys to regain all of their morale, which I kind of get. Reinforcements arrived. They're able to bolster their units. They're splitting off another 20k. There's actually a pretty smart move. Like, required some pretty hefty timing. But it does look like Jordland may win this one. Everthil's morale is almost given out. Jordland still has another 32,000 they can send in. Everthil retreats. Jordland wins. That was some pretty nice timing there from Jordland, I must say. And there's another 120,000 Jordland troops over on that side. Boiscarvo is still sitting up here. Boiscarvo's noticed where Lorent was starting to appear from. And they do have straits all the way into the Boiscarvo homeland. Vern's armies have started to appear as well. That's going to be the problem. Didn't know you could change the map in the EU4 mod. Someone should do a Lord of the Rings one. Why Lord of the Rings? Just play this. Probably has more depth than Lord of the Rings at this point too. Lord of the Rings is like orcs, humans, dwarves and elves. This is orcs, dwarves, humans, elves, ogres, centaurs, harpies, gnolls, lizardmen, eventually. Rakshasa. Loads of stuff. So Everthil again losing a battle. Jordland doing a pretty good job of chasing them down and forcing another battle out of them. At the moment they are losing to a -38 war score. I wonder, is Jordland building more ships? A few? There's another 27 heavies. So not really. That's 80 transports, that's 70 heavies. Yeah, maybe they're trying to consolidate a couple more heavy ships in this area. That's 210 heavies and only heavies. That's 30. That's only heavies. That's only heavies. So that's 190. Those are transports. That's only heavies. That's 260. So they currently have got more ships here than they do. And that's probably going to be another 30 stack. So they'll have another 60 heavies than Everthil. versus Ebethil's heavy ship combat ability. Although, one thing I did mean to do was take a look at Jordland's naval modifiers. Blockade efficiency, 38, so it's not as good. Heavy combat ability, only 10. Ebethil had 30. Leader fire, shock +1, that's pretty much the same. Ebethil had +1 maneuver. Ship durability 10. Which I'm pretty sure Ebethil has something similar for. Naval tradition plus 3.2, that's pretty good. Ship durability 10. So, naval tradition 55.8 versus 31. Yeah, Ebethil generally, over everything, just has better naval traits going on. Meanwhile, Phoenix Empire is still embroiled in a bitter war against Soldier-Sat and are in fact pushing their advantage into Soldier-Sat territories. They have taken 7,000 in loans versus 6,000 in loans, so it's these two sides have been really evenly matched. But I feel like the Phoenix Empire just having that extra income, and it's quite a lot of extra income, 105 ducats a month, has meant that they can just hire more mercenaries and so stay in the fight longer in terms of manpower. Although Soldier-Sat did have the extra professionalism, which they have nuked. Didn't they have like 100 when they started? 2 million versus 1.6 million, 1.8 million. 485,000 manpower to attrition, so they've lost 2.5 million to 2 million. So again, kind of like Kryenvar earlier, they've lost 500,000 more men. Speaking of Kryenvar, that's a lot of troops on the move there, Helena. And the Wood Elves going after Karuvia again. Bjarnrik having cut the gnomes off. Sorry, having cut Small Country off, as we kind of anticipated they would. And they took Odin's Bay, which is by far and away the most valuable province because extra trade power. And we're playing till the end of the year because we are reaching the end of this session. So 1625 will be the last of it. Meanwhile, Jordland has pretty much completely taken back Jordjelian Huraf and could start pushing into No Ebethil soon. I mean, we've been waiting for this big New World conflict for a really long time, and I'm somewhat surprised it's taken this long to occur. We still haven't seen where Vern's armies are. And Chaos should be watching this carefully as well. Possibly thinking about getting involved themselves. They've finally gone after Lorenka and are consolidating more of this. I mean, Chaos has a really big advantage in that they are the only player native nation here. They could foreseeably take over the whole continent, whereas this one is split between two, Boiscarvo and Jordland. There's Vern. There's Vern. Vern has arrived, and unfortunately Jordland has let them arrive. Vern still has 100k in the bank. Loads of professionalism. Finances are fine, they're not in debt. They actually have a big surplus. Yeah, now that the big boys, Vern and Lorent, have arrived, I think that this is going to go badly for the natives. Chaos could be something of a kingmaker here. How many ships does Neckliffe have? 7. I was going to say Neckliffe might have the potential as well, but no, they don't. So Jordland shipping more troops down here. and starting to push out into Nur Everthil. Oh, Kreinvar is at war. Well spotted. I would have missed that. Yeah. Kreinvar indeed going after the lakes. So Soldier Sat right now, that's a lot of forts, is fighting against the Wood Elves coming through here. And also the Phoenix Empire coming from the south. So they've definitely noticed Soldier Sat's weakness. Soldier Sat really needs to cash into more of their professionalism because they're 141,000 manpower short right now and are not going to be replenishing. And I'm guessing between sessions, with such a large conflict, Soldier Sat's going to be reaching out for some reinforcements now. Oslam Azdir, not in the war. Did they break their alliance with Soldier Sat? No. Did Soldier Sat start this? No. So how did Aslam Azdir not get called? Oh, are you allied to both sides? Yeah, you are. That's a really dangerous game. Yeah, Kreinvar called them into the Karuvia War, meaning that because they're in a war together, Oslam Azdir could not join the Soldier Sat War. This is going to backfire for you, Tanya. You're being far too neutral. All it's going to take is for Kreinvar to break their alliance with you, wait a year for the truce, and then boom, they attack you. And Soldier Sat at that point will not be in a position to defend you. Also allied to Bjarnrik, true. And I would say that Bjarnrik is probably the more stable alliance. But does Bjarnrik really want to be called into war against the Wood Elves is the question. Probably not. Because it's in Bjarnrik's favour that the Wood Elves is beating up on Adenica and Marhold, because now Bjarnrik can move in and take them. Although, that would be losing their own buffer against the Wood Elves. Like, Bjarnrik really here, in the Adenica Marhold conflict versus Kreinvar, could be the Great Betrayer or the Great Saviour. A Bjarnrik intervention would bring in the manpower that these two so desperately need against Kreinvar. Or they can wait for Kreinvar to do even more damage to Marhold and Adenica than Bjarnrik sweeps in and takes them out. I think that's more likely, having seen how rarely he plays. Three more months until the end of the session. So Soldier Sat attacking into Kreinvar. Soldier Sat able to win that fight pretty convincingly. That Soldier Sat morale is just so dangerous. And Kreinvar is already kind of tapped. I mean, to be fair, so is Soldier Sat, but Soldier Sat still has a lot left in the tank. Now, I'd say the danger right now is the Phoenix Empire. I mean, what Soldier Sat probably wants to do is say, okay, Phoenix Empire, you can have this. As long as I can keep this and put a fort there, you can have the crossing. And then I'll focus on Kreinvar and fight them to white peace. And then what you need to do is take out Northern Wind, Skurkulki, and Magama. Consolidate your holdings out of this and then kick Phoenix Empire out of this again. Like, I'm not really sure what Kreinvar is hoping to gain from this. Except maybe just relieve some of the pressure on the Phoenix Empire to force Soldier Sat to the negotiating table. Yeah, there are 3 fronts, although this one's been a very, very quiet one. All they need to do is fort. And this becomes a real pain to siege just because deserts, attrition, especially with the big armies currently present. Meanwhile, Blackstep obliterating the command. Ovdor Khanzad does not have a truce with the command. Ovdor Khanzad could go after the command and gobble up some more of their land. Oh, Blackstep is one of the command's former minions. Oh, now that's interesting. So Stolen Gem is still their minion, but Blackstep is broken free. And Ovdor Khanzad's probably watching this going, "Hoo-hoo-hoo, I sense opportunities." Because Blackstep will probably try to take this. Meaning that Ovdor Khanzad can come in and take this. And there it is, January 1625, and we have drawn to a close in this session again. Soldier Sat still in a conflict against Kryenvar and Phoenix Empire. Are they going to be able to do some diplomacy to bring in some other powers into this conflict? Possibly, maybe, if Kryenvar takes too many casualties in this war against Soldier Sat, where so far we haven't seen them perform particularly well. This may well open up another opportunity for Marhold and Adenica to get some Revengi. We shall see. GG's going up into chat there. This has been a very, very, very active session. Several absolutely gargantuan wars going on. Of course, the Laurentish-Vernian war against Boiscarvo continues to rage. We've got the Yordalian showdown against Eberthil still going. Although nothing particularly decisive happening there just yet. Although we do just see Yordland armies being sent home. All still to play for. Several very large nations with several very large factions still going on here. Anyway, what I'm going to do is we're going to flip over to the player chat for a moment just to see how everyone's talking about this. I warn you it's going to get loud because I've not balanced any of the audios, but we'll just hang out for a little bit and see what they have to say.
So tasty when you see those numbers in the shock face.
Ah, yeah.
So Phoenix Empire.
What's
Do
up?
you have the biggest army?
I do
Someone
now. What's up?
This has been some seriously massive showdowns. It's been really impressive to watch.
The Lake Fed has 38 war score from battles.
I was gone for one day.
Because their back row, their reserves don't take any morale damage. Which is
Yeah,
just
they take
ridiculous.
literally none. So,
But I was
despite
taking
taking
so
massive
much.
casualties, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
I can't keep up with the
So wait,
our losses.
so he doesn't. So he can literally just overstack in a battle, and it doesn't matter for him.
I
Pretty
could.
much.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's why he goes with the. It's really strong, and then obviously has high morale as well.
Yeah, Soldier
It's
Sat's
like
morale is
8 point
ridiculous.
something.
He basically
How
won
many people
each
died
one
this
battles.
session? Is the question.
I mean, we've taken
Only
2
one.
million. Me and Phoenix Empire have taken 2 million losses. Obviously, not a lot of those were mine.
It was 7 million losses in the Laurentish War, so
Jesus Christ.
I think we're
How
probably
much
well
was
over
it?
10 million today.
Oh yeah,
How
they
much
were-
was between Adenica? I don't remember how much the Adenica war.
I think about 3 million
It was
between
posted,
the
right?
Wood Elves and
Didn't she post
Annika
it?
Marhold.
So that was 3 million. 1.2 on our side and 1.7 on her
So
side.
I think that's 13 million and counting from today's session.
By the way, look at the casualty we did in one battle against Beyondwick.
In which war?
The Lorent war.
Oh, I can't. 'Cause I don't know
200k
their stats
to-
anymore.
Oh no, I posted the picture.
Oh, okay.
It
Cool.
was in
Of a
big thing
battle.
casual.
And now the important question. Did you finally see the leader of the Ram Dwarfs?
I did. Mordred Whitebeard. Absolute legend.
Still's got at least 100 years in him, so...
I guess nobody on the planet has a navy because I have the 10th largest navy.
Hey,
What is
There
the
are-
coast?
I'm pretty sure it's me and Everthil, and then below that is just like
a long drop to the next
Navy
person.
Yes, pretty much.
What is a sea?
There is
Okay,
the
guys, I'll see you next
biggest
week.
stalemate showdown happening off of Yordeli and Haraf right now. We've got like 300 heavy ships just like staring each other, 400 even. But haven't actually fought yet. That's a conflict I've been watching for a while.
I think we've been too busy microing like the land forces in Haraf to like worry about the Navy right now.
Probably. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you all of you for playing. This has been a magnificent session to watch. Massive battles, massive numbers, probably more than I've seen myself in multiplayer games. And they're only going to get more massive because it's still only 1625.
What do you think of Vern suddenly having some K force limits?
Scary.
You have what?
600k force limits.
Oh, I think okay.
You are what about giant.
How
I did everything I could.
Pay for?
What?
Though, how many of those can you pay for though?
I have 200
Let's hope
subsidies.
Sadist is happy that Jabert is still alive.
Subsidies.
Oh,
Wow.
However, I should probably call this one here. I just want to say one final thing before I go. All hail Emperor Gelman Siliestra. And on that note, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.
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 Alright, so chat, thanks everyone for watching, for you as well. Really hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, be sure to hit that follow button to get notifications when I'm live again in the future, which will be in an hour from now. So 10 PM this evening, we're going to be playing some Hearts of Iron, continuing the Germany Stasia game that we started yesterday on Kaiserreich. If you've really enjoyed this and you want to support the channel, then please do consider checking out the Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/MordredViking. Or you can, of course, check out or you can subscribe here on Twitch. I do have a YouTube channel where this series is being uploaded, so if you've missed any of the shenanigans thus far and you want to see the rise to power from the various different factions, you can find that on youtube.com/MordredViking. And then finally we have the Discord, which is where this community hangs out. They are a very cool bunch. We do organise quite a few multiplayer games, as you've seen. Yesterday's Kaiserreich multiplayer, today's Anbennar multiplayer, and there are others also going on which I am unfortunately unable to cover because of time constraints. So if you want to play some multiplayer, if you just want to join the community, then you can find us over on the Discord, which Darkfighter has linked. Thank you very much for doing that. We should go and find somebody to raid. And then I shall dash off and grab something to eat, because I'm getting rather hungry. Who is currently live? Is anyone playing Anbennar, I wonder? It's one thing I always try to check for if I can. No. Planning a EU4 casual Anbennar multiplayer. Well, there you go. That's being worked on at the moment. So if you want to get involved yourselves in a Anbennar multiplayer, then you can do that. Oh, here we go. EU4 Anbennar. Goblins want gold. Elbrack. Let me just listen in for a second, make sure he's actually got audio. Yep, seems okay. So we're going to go and raid this fellow Elbrack. So head on over there. Say hello from Mordred Viking. I'd love to see his chat. Absolutely lit up by the Viking Raid, which you can do by copying and pasting Viking Raid, just like this. Or if you're a subscriber and you have access to the long ships, you can bring those instead. But bear in mind that will only work if you are actually a subscriber. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thanks everyone for watching. I will see you 10 o'clock this evening for some more Kaiserreich. Until then...